All right. Good. Hey, what's going on?
Going.
Yeah, there's no more count on here anymore. So
Yeah, I asked Rich, do we have anybody watching on Friday? And he said, yeah, we got a few. What's going on?
yeah, they're not. I don't know what it is. The system sucks. I have to change it. Who's the guy in Wayne's chair?
Wayne was not scheduled to be here.
Yeah.
He's a guest.
Yeah, I guess myself.
Yeah.
He's a guest today.
It's Rich Canova.
I decided to come in after we saw an assassination attempt this weekend.
Well, let's get right in it. I guess that's what we're talking about.
Now that you opened the door.
You know, every social media post, everything you read, everything you look at is Trump themed. Everything.
Oh, yeah.
There's not one damn thing that's not. I mean, I can't see anything. I'm scrolling through YouTube. I'm scrolling through TikTok and Instagram. Everything is Trump themed, whether it is another video of, some POV, of where he's at, to somebody giving commentary on what they thought. So
Well,
It's on every paper.
If it was any other presidential candidate, it'd probably still be the same thing.
yeah, but it's crazy. It's just.
I think it's a little different because he actually was a president.
Yeah.
So he's got a little bit above a candidate, but yeah, well, it's pretty important news especially when you see people driving down the road with their pickup trucks and they got their American flags on the back, and now you see them, they got them upside down.
Really? I didn't notice that.
Oh, I saw a couple.
Really? Wow.
So what do you, Paul? You had something to say before we went on the air. You were going to say something,
Oh,
and then I said, "Whoa, hold it up, hold it up." Yep, forgot, gone.
Poof.
We're going to have a
It's
Biden
gone.
moment here.
Paul Biden.
We're just going to call it a senior
What was I
moment.
going to talk about?
It's a senior moment.
I'm just laughing at the people now who are coming out and saying, "Oh, the guy got shot. It shouldn't have happened." But 2 days ago, these people were talking about this guy and, he's no good and all this other shit. Well, on one side of the thing, they pretty much pushed this stuff in the mind of a 20-year-old.
Mhm.
I mean,
Well, how do you know that? Do you mean in the mind? This thing has been in the mind of this 20-year-old for quite some time.
I'm sure it
This
has
isn't-
been.
This wasn't just, hey, I'm going to get up and do this today.
I'm sure it wasn't in mind of him for quite a while, but somebody was talking. He heard some stuff and made him change his mind. I don't know where his family is, whether they're Republican.
Put your microphone closer, Paul. Dude.
I don't know if their family is Republican, Democrat. I don't know what was going on and said in his household. Who
Is
the
this a
hell knows?
Democrat Republican thing, or is he just an asshole?
Is he an asshole or is he just a disturbed young man?
Well, he's got to be an asshole because he was a registered Republican, no matter how you look at it. He was supporting the Democrats, but he was a registered Republican. So why would you do that to your own party if you're
I don't know.
a true Republican?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. But they say he was bullied, and now they're saying he was not bullied. So who the hell
Yeah.
knows?
Well, there's one thing that's for sure: is he's dead.
Oh yeah,
He's gone.
Quite dead.
yeah,
Yeah, very dead.
Missing some
But-
teeth dead.
but he had other things in mind because they found bomb materials in his car.
Yeah.
I did hear that. Yep.
Yeah, so he must have had some other things on his mind he was going to do if you have those materials.
Well, if he thought he was going to walk away after taking a shot at an ex-president,
Yeah,
that wasn't going to happen.
No.
So, but it's surprising to find out that he was able to get up on that roof so close to the
Mm.
event as it was, and they're doing big
Yeah.
investigations to find out that.
Yeah, the
lapse.
Secret Service said they failed on that one.
But I agree with
What a
Paul.
time to fail.
What? What a
True.
time to
Speaking to
fail.
Rich's
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
True.
I-
I think the article I read this morning was they were supposed to have line of sight issues up to 1,500 yards or something like that, and that kid was only at like 100 yards.
130
Yeah.
yards.
150 yards.
Yeah. So
He was close.
He was. Yeah,
He was close. Let's put it that way.
He was in the perimeter.
So how does a 20-year-old kid, get through security checkpoints to get into the event to begin with
With an AR.
with an AR, get up on a roof of a building, which is about 110 whatever yards away, and able to crawl and not be spotted, especially when you had snipers, Secret Service snipers, that were posted right behind Trump on a building which would have been looking right at this kid. How does this happen?
Had to be another way in, or he planned it before.
Or he
The
was
event.
sitting up there before. Who knows?
Well, you know, and I know Secret Service, whenever a president or an ex-president is going to show up somewhere, they're scouting that
Oh,
area
yeah,
out.
absolutely.
That area has been scouted for weeks, months, until the president or the ex-president ever even gets there.
No, you're right.
All right. So they should know, or they should have known, every angle, every possibility of somebody that was going to try to shoot the guy.
Yeah.
So now my question is, how did it really happen?
So he was, according to this, and I didn't go watch this video. My son sent it to me, but according to this, he was seen up there by a guy who was being interviewed with the BBC.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I didn't watch the video, but
Well,
So was he allowed to be up there? Is the question
No.
by somebody?
with a rifle, I highly doubt that.
I doubt that. But they
Do we-
said that a cop went up was going up the ladder, and then he was going up the ladder. He spotted him on the roof. Then he pointed the gun at the cop, and then the cop called and notified the FBI, who turned and went and shot him. That's how they found him. They turned there because they were looking at a certain way, and then they turned and they spotted him on the roof.
But how does this kid, a 20-year-old kid,
Well, it's
get
hard
up
to
on
say.
a roof,
It's hard to say.
you know, with an AR-15 past security checkpoints?
Maybe he had it planned long before.
You can't get a Bic lighter on a plane.
But no,
Yeah, right.
he didn't. He didn't have to go on a plane.
He would.
He already lived.
Oh no, it's
No,
just
no, no,
I'm the security.
Paul,
He never.
Paul,
entered,
I'm-
I know what you're saying.
and he never entered the
But-
event.
I wasn't being
It was
literal there,
outside
Paul.
the-
But maybe
Yeah.
he went earlier. You don't know. Maybe he planned this thing a week or two in advance. Put the damn gun up.
Oh,
on
he
the
didn't
road.
wake up that morning and decide to go do it.
No, of
That's for
course
sure.
not. He had this thing
Yeah.
planned.
My question is was this just the workings of one kid, or was this an entire operation?
That's
So the next question that can come in on this, and I don't know what their laws are in Pennsylvania, but if it's determined through interviews, and you know they're going to interview a ton of people on this kid, did he have mental health issues? If he did, and it was his father's gun, do they go after the father?
That's a good question.
You know, they do it everywhere else. Do they hold the father accountable
Yeah.
for letting the kid get a hold of the gun and knowing he had mental health issues?
I didn't think
Okay.
he did. I didn't hear anything about.
Well, if he's been bullied for any length of time,
no, they
trust
said
me.
that's not true.
I don't know.
well,
Because
that's
they-
first,
the
that's
school
first thing
came-
people like to think that.
Yeah, well, I don't
The
know.
school
People
came
do
out
like
and
this.
said
They
no.
got bullied, or they got this, they got that. They had a bad home life, bad living environment, whatever. But who knows? You're not going to know from him because
Yeah, he can't talk.
he's done.
All right, Scott Fryer watching on Grizzled News and Notes says, "We will never have the real answer to this, but any smart person can look and know that it stinks. But hey, the president did say last week that it's time to put a bullseye on Trump."
He did say that.
He did say that.
He did say that.
That's probably why he showed up 3 times.
Exactly.
It's probably why he spoke 3 times.
Well, that's
Look
what
at the media. You're right, Paul. The media, the left media, has been piling on, and not only that, some of these people out of Hollywood, some of the crap they've been saying. I said
Yes.
something last week with Whoopi Goldberg said. Now you got Robert De Niro saying nonsense. This is the same rhetoric they said 8 years ago.
Yep.
Same rhetoric, and they're all still living in the United States. They're also, well, if he becomes president, we're
I'm
gonna
going to Canada.
Yeah.
And they're all still here. Well, we just leave and go to Canada then? I don't think Canada wants you, to tell you the truth.
They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, like I said, on one side of their mouth they said this, now on the other side of their mouth they're saying this.
Trump-
What a
Trump-
bunch
Trump.
of BS.
Trump would have sent them on his own jet for crying out loud. Are you kidding?
Yeah, I remember having a conversation about this thing with my friend Lisa Coe.
Yeah.
And she just when I said that to her, she just rolled her eyes like, "Whatever, they're not going anywhere," and they still haven't gone anywhere.
It's true.
They don't want that Canadian dollar; they want an American dollar.
Of course.
So, but the big thing around social media, though, and you can't believe shit anymore. You
No, you
can't
can't.
believe what's on the news.
Nope.
You can't believe what's on social media. I don't care what kind of credentials somebody brings to the
You get
table.
these
Some guy.
fake Twitter posts.
Oh, yeah.
How do you
But-
determine which one's
But
real
you
and which
gotta
one's fake?
remember, 20-year-old.
Yeah.
They're gonna believe all that crap.
I know.
Where somebody who's much older saying that's a bunch of bullshit, just like you just said. But take a 20-year-old who lives on that stuff. What's
Yeah.
gonna believe it?
Yeah.
Even there was a guy that I was in my scrolling mode last night at around 10:30. some guy that came on that said he was he was a retired Green Beret,
Yeah, sure.
and he had the highest level of sniper qualifications or whatever. And he went through the whole thing and it sounded very believable, but who do you believe? You just don't. Good morning, Cortland, who's watching also on Grizzled News and Notes. Says, I find so many holes in the protection detail at the rally to be inconceivable. First and foremost, how does the closest rooftop get left unprotected? That's what we said a minute ago. How does a 78-year-old dive for cover after being shot faster than any agents even moved? They also left him exposed to more attempts when they got him to his feet, because he got him to his feet, right? And he was like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah,
Before he
his
started
fist
throwing the
up,
fist
pumping,
up.
yeah.
He towered above many of the security detail. Now we are supposed to wait for an official investigation. Where is the truth?
It's never going to come out. It's never going to come out.
Most presidents or people in that position probably would have cowered down and let the Secret Service completely cover them up and
Yeah.
get them out of there.
Yep.
Trump's not that person.
But
He is not. He's going to show you he's strong, and he's going to keep fighting.
Did you
And
see
that's exactly what he did.
See the people who were there, what they were doing? They were giving the finger.
Yeah.
They were yelling the F word, F bombs. They were pissed. Yeah. So and unfortunately,
Unfortunately, you had that one guy who was a firefighter.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
unfortunate.
He was chief
Yeah,
of the fire department.
That's
Yeah.
unfortunate that he got
He
shot.
dove to cover his family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And somebody else got injured.
And two others.
But
Two others.
this whole thing is nothing new. It happened to
It's been a long time since this happened.
Bobby Kennedy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was Kennedy. I mean, John Kennedy got shot while he was
Yep.
driving on the road. But Bobby Kennedy, Martin Luther King. I don't know if you remember, but the mayor of Chicago got shot.
Yeah.
I mean, he was out there.
Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan. So
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing new to this, but
But it's been a long time.
it's been a very long time.
You haven't had such a. I
But
don't
we
know.
didn't have all this crap going on.
Right.
When Ronald Reagan when those presidential elections were going on those years back, there was none of this crap that we have right now. There's none of that.
Are we going to hear?
No, there's hate.
Are we going to hear 20 years from now there was a second shooter?
You don't know?
Was this guy a smokescreen?
They do forensics, so on the gun they'll find out.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be all kinds of theories out there. What the hell?
Some
happened.
witnesses disappearing.
What about that guy that
Up on
was?
up on the grassy knoll.
Yeah. What about the guy that was behind Trump? He looked like he was wearing a wig and he was wearing a ball cap, and he had a green flag and a yellow flag. It was almost like he was like,
Go, no go.
yeah. And then as soon as Trump dropped, he takes out his phone. And he acted totally.
They'll be looking at interviewing.
Well, maybe looking at all that video.
Yeah,
All the
he
video.
looked totally
They can pick out
unscathed.
people out of the January
uninterested.
6th event that lived in a cabin up on a 3-mile high mountain in Montana
Yeah.
someplace. Trust me, they'll find who they want to find and interview them.
That's if they find him alive.
Well,
Who knows?
true.
Kathy says, with so many lunatics running wild, like you, I'm surprised this didn't happen sooner.
The shit show supervisors.
All
That's
hail
shit
the
show
queen.
supervisor? Yeah,
Well,
all hail the queen. There you go.
What scares you now is retaliation.
Mm.
We don't know how many.
Oh, they're gonna up the security on all this now.
There will be
Yeah.
no more outdoor events.
Maybe not.
Kathy says that was Vincent Fusca, whoever Vincent Fusca is. Kathy knows all, apparently, but
You don't need an outdoor event.
Well,
Huh?
the whole Trump crowd you do.
Well, with the Trump crowd, you do, but who? I'm just saying, retaliation.
Oh, yeah.
what about all the people that were like cheering after it happened?
That's disgusting.
Yeah, I don't care who you are. I don't care
I
who.
don't care whether you're left, right, in the middle, and upside down.
Yeah.
That was not the right thing to do. It just goes to show you how sick some people are. I wouldn't be. I saw some articles where some people said, "It's too bad he missed."
Yeah.
You know, and that's
Yeah.
like, what
The first
hell?
thing that came
I
out
guess
was, look at this, Trump fell down.
Yeah.
I guess my question is,
Yeah, they tried to pass it off as he fell. Yeah. He didn't.
I mean, I don't like Biden. I don't like Trump. All right, I don't like what some of the things they did, but that doesn't mean I hate them.
That they should be shot.
Right?
Right.
I don't know.
It means go away. It doesn't mean die.
Right.
And it doesn't. Just because, I don't know what the hell hate means. I don't even know this guy.
Yeah.
I've never had any involvement with this person at all. So how can I hate him? I don't know.
I don't know.
You know, if somebody was close to me and they would give me that I hate your ass, like you had an ex-wife, you hate your ex-wife, right?
Yeah.
But
Great.
I don't
Move-
even know this person.
Move
so
on. Yep.
How the hell am I going to hate him? But that's the stuff that's going on, even by our politicians, for Christ's sakes.
Mm.
All those freaking politicians hate him. You know, think of all those left-wing women that we have in Minnesota and New York and all those other ones. How do they feel about it? You know, it's like,
The squad.
yeah, the women.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like, what the hell is their problem?
The
They don't
View.
even know the guy.
Because he doesn't support their progressive leanings. And,
Yeah, but that
you
doesn't
know,
mean
there's
I gotta
nothing wrong
hate
with
him.
not supporting, you know, what you believe
You
in.
got
But
the
that
right to
doesn't
your
mean-
own beliefs. That's
It
right.
doesn't mean you go on TV and start putting crap out there that
Yeah.
makes the guy look like he's the devil and it's the end
Yeah.
of freedom if he gets in office. He's going to be a dictator and all this other nonsense. It's like he's been in office before. What did he do before? Did he do any of that nonsense?
Didn't do much dictating.
No, he's not great on Twitter, and he does say a lot of silly stuff.
Yeah.
Get past that.
But you know, the economy was going great.
Yeah.
You know, and he was trying to save the country money. He was trying to minimize spending until COVID hit.
Well, you know the one thing that's done? It's taken off the pressure on Joe Biden to resign. This is now completely took the subject off
Or
of Biden,
taken.
telling him to resign. Now it's all on Trump. So Biden's going to keep right on going.
Well, he's going to keep right on going, but everybody's going to look at how Trump reacted to this thing, and I'm going to tell you right now,
Trump wins.
So,
Biden would have been still on the floor looking to get up right now. to tell you the truth.
well, that's true because of his age. But let's face it, when we all get old, it's hard to once you're down, it's hard to get up. Let's face it. You're right. They would have had to pick him up, but
Trump's only 4 or 5 years younger. He's
Yeah.
76,
That's true.
77.
78.
that's true.
78, yeah.
He still bounced right back up. He shouldn't have, but he
3
did.
years.
Let's see. Kathy says about Vincent Fusca. He's a conspiracy theory. People think that he's JFK Jr. in disguise. Okay.
JFK Jr., huh? He's,
Well, there were also some talkings about that Trump's Secret Service contingent is not as big as it should be.
That was,
They dropped money on that.
yeah.
They cut money back
Yeah.
on
But
that.
they did say going forward, he will have all the security he needs.
Oh yeah, going forward.
Of course. Yep. We,
Of
course.
we screwed up. We're going to make it right next time. Yeah.
So we can't see in the regular chat about all the posts coming in from Grizzled News and Notes, but I'm going to copy and paste. So this one right here, this one's from Lori Sorter, and this is a different take. Just an innocent question: does this affect anyone's opinion or public purchase of AR style weapons? So, in other words, due to this event, does this affect your opinion on whether or not you should be able to purchase AR style weapons?
Nope.
I'd be willing to bet the AR isn't even being thought of.
It's
right
not.
now.
It's nothing. It's nothing
It's
different.
not
than,
even being thought of. It's the
it's nothing different than a
assassination attempt.
semi-automatic handgun.
Yeah.
Makes no difference.
Yeah.
Same thing. Shorter
that-
barrel.
Yeah, and that comes up to the age-old question: do guns kill people, or do people kill people?
Guns don't kill people.
People
Smart
do.
people know that.
People kill people.
That's right. Guns aren't evil. People are evil.
So we've had machete killings. You're going to ban machetes?
Okay,
You know,
Paul, you want to jump in on that?
who's swinging the
I
machete?
don't think it's going to change people's minds.
Okay,
First thing we can't-
I don't either. I
Except
don't.
for
'Cause I don't
Murphy.
think.
Except for Murphy.
The hard left. It'll change the
Murphy
hard left.
Murphy will be out there jabbing about something.
They'll be looking to ban them.
Yeah. And there's a guy right there that bitches about Trump right there. He's the one that sends a lot of rhetoric up there. Murphy
Yeah.
and Blumenthal.
Yeah.
A
Yeah,
lot of people, and even Lamont. But now that you hear Lamont this morning, oh yeah, we feel sorry to that.
Yeah, Lamont is kissing a lot of booty because he wants a position in Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you ask me,
I think you're right.
because every time something comes out, Lamont puts out a press release applauding the president.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, you're right.
Whether he agrees or not, he wants more of a
something
career. He
in-
wants
he
out of
want-
Connecticut
yeah.
and he wants to go to Washington.
Yeah, you're right. I think you're right.
Maybe he'll be the.
Well, he's not the only one that wants him out of Connecticut.
Because he isn't that stupid, right?
Oh, God.
Well, I mean, look, there's been people that have left Connecticut to become, have positions in Washington, like Miguel Cardona,
Yeah.
who was the
He was,
head of education.
Yep.
For the
In
technical
Connecticut.
schools. Yep.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, he graduated the tech schools. He became.
Yeah, the whole thing. He was the education
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
poobah in
graduated out
Connecticut.
of like plumbing shop
Yeah.
or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Kudos to him. I mean,
But now he's the
he's
he's the
in
Secretary of Education
Yep.
Yeah.
in Washington.
yeah, he
So
wasn't doing that great of a job here either, so don't worry about it. Like you said, it doesn't matter who you know.
I
finish the
think
rest of the
I think
statement.
the new Secretary of Education should be Mary Beth Mine,
Oh, don't. Okay, here you go.
my friend.
I'll
let's
vote for
see.
that. I'll nominate that. I'll second that.
Kathy says Biden drops to the floor like that when faced with a set of stairs.
Yeah, if his wife's not helping him down the stairs, it's going to fall down.
DM Foley, our favorite local author, says it's not who's going to be on here real shortly. By the way, it's not the weapon used; it's the person using the weapon.
Yeah.
Kathy says Kathy is yippee today.
Hmm.
No, it's a low caliber weapon, meaning don't ban them. Yeah, I think the biggest question is AB security rather than the gun this time. I have no idea. And Mary Beth says, thank you for the nomination, but I decline.
Wow.
Well, there goes education.
I thought I was
Right
gonna-
out the
I
door.
was going to have to clean out my doghouse after that statement.
Jeez. I got you, Wayne. I got you.
Anyway,
You can always sleep here.
so the whole thing is, anytime somebody gets shot with a gun, or everybody's trying to say we got to get rid of guns. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, if we get rid of guns, you might as well kiss our freaking freedom goodbye.
I don't know. My personal opinion, I don't really bark my personal opinion a lot on here, but I just think that if you get rid of guns, then someone's going to use a knife.
Yeah.
They're still going to do what they're going to do or going to attempt what
Look at
they're going
England.
to
They still
attempt.
got murders going over in
Yeah.
England. They don't have
Australia,
guns.
yeah.
Australia.
There have been guns made out of bamboo. Have you seen those? Those are,
Plastic.
yeah.
Yeah, one shot.
They
Yeah,
make
it's not
them
going
with
to
a
matter.
3D printer.
Yeah. That's the
Yeah,
other-
exactly.
Yep.
So a good question, and that question's going to be around for a very long time, about guns and the public purchase of guns and if it should be allowed and if not. But I think if you get rid of them and ban them and the Meisterburger shows up to your house and says, give me all of your guns and your weapons, they're probably either going to get shot or they're going to get handed over. And what happens at that point? Someone's going to find another way to defend themselves,
Well, think about that.
like a machete.
Yeah.
So,
They'll smuggle the guns in. Somehow you'll get it.
Well, the bad guys will get the guns, and all the honest people will be stuck.
Well, that's
in
the
their
problem.
homes.
The law-abiding
And then the
people
bad
are the
guys
ones who
will
pay
just-
the price.
You just walk in the house with their guns, and there's no with the fresh mind of knowing that these people in their homes don't have guns.
I mean, I get the
Right.
question. I understand the question, and it's a good question, but I don't think anything will ever come of that. Getting rid of,
Nope.
guns, for just residents. It ain't going to happen. Here's something for you. I think that the worst thing you can do personally is get rid of them. Why? Because then I think now you turn the state into an even more evil character.
Everybody that had guns is going to want to go get them like the bad guys get them.
Right, but
Even though they're not going to do anything with them like the bad guys, they still want their guns.
DM Foley says the worst school massacre in our history was not perpetuated with guns, So evil people hell bent on doing harm will find a way.
Yeah.
Sure they will.
That's right.
Yeah, just
So-
make up bombs, make up pipe bombs,
Mhm.
do whatever they want.
Sure.
You know, the bombs used during the Boston Marathon, 12 years ago, whatever it was.
Yeah.
You know,
Pressure
I
cooker
mean,
bombs, right?
yeah.
Again, really good question. Really good question. And that's a question that is going to be out there for a long time. So just so you know, anybody that asks a question, don't assume it's their personal their personal thoughts about what they think or want. It's just a question. If it is or it isn't, it doesn't matter. Unless that person wants to make
Right.
that known. But it's a question that
No, it's going to be
you're
brought
going to be
up.
there all the time.
There's going to be somebody pushing to get rid of AR-51s,
Well,
AR-15s.
that's
whatever.
kind of quieted down a little bit because it was pretty, after the last shooting, I forget what the hell it was, but they went after him and then now it's kind of calmed down a little bit. You don't hear too much about the
Oh, there hasn't been one in a
Yeah.
while.
They
Right.
took away a lot of the stuff that you can buy for an AR.
They're going to try and strengthen the gun laws. It's like, oh my God.
I mean, we probably
Really,
got
we
one
got
of the,
pretty strong gun laws as
State of
there
Connecticut.
is.
you're right, but look at the
You know?
shootings. We got shootings in New Haven. We got shootings in New Haven. We just had a shooting in Norwich over the weekend.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Norwich is at an all-time personal best now for shootings.
Yeah.
All right. We want to thank our sponsors, that make it possible for us to do this, and also to mainly go ahead and stream sporting events. Right now, we are streaming the Norwich Sea Unicorns, which is a lot of fun. It was Friday night. There was over 4,000 people there. Wow.
Wow,
Really?
that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
So for those of you who think that the unicorns aren't a thing, they're a thing.
I guess so.
And it's a blast, and they have so many things that are going on.
Huh.
They got the All-Star celebration or the All-Star extravaganza coming up in next week, and they're going to have even Nick Bossy
Mhm.
is going to do a concert after one of the games, and we're this close to getting Nick on our show next week as well. Before that, we're going to have some players from the Sea Unicorns are going to be on here. We're just going to. We don't know exactly what day yet, there, Mr. Program Director, but I'll let you know.
Oh, you'll let me know the day before.
The night-
Because that may be when I find out.
The night before. Yeah.
Can't fire the boss, though,
Um,
can you? You
no.
can't do that, no.
We could impeach him.
That's true, but look what happens on that. They just stay
Yeah,
there
how'd
and
that
go.
work out with the
Good
other
day,
presidents?
bitches,
He's
I'm
sitting
still
there in
here.
office, he's still there.
I did not.
He pays
Have
the
sex
bills. He
with
pays the
that woman.
salaries.
But Bill, she's got the dress.
But the Burns Agency in Dayville in Norwich. You can see. Just look at my screen right now. You can see the Burns Agency to the left and the Burns Agency to the right. They have been a local supporter of ours for 7 years now, and they're absolutely amazing, and they are the definition of support local. Those guys right there. So Jay Burns and his crew. We got Archie Drobiak. That's on that group. Who have known Archie pretty much my entire life. Again, support local. The other, I hit something wrong. Strain Family Motors. We just got a beautiful car from Strain Family Motors. It's a 2014 Mazda. The thing's amazing.
Is that the silver one sitting out there?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's got all the bells and whistles and everything, and it's got so many new parts in it because they give a shit. They give a shit down there. I found out that they actually there is nothing going to stop them from making sure you have a car that's on the road. So,
How
yeah.
many parts? How many days? Doesn't matter how long.
It doesn't matter. This is like a brand new car, but
They're
but
the ones,
these
they're the
guys.
ones with the ad that
but they
we wouldn't
work.
put you in a car. We wouldn't put our grandkids in or something. like
No. Remember,
that.
not
Somebody's got that ad.
maybe. But what my favorite ad was back in the day where it was Sherman Ford, which happens to be exactly where
Yeah.
Strain Family Motors is
Right,
now.
right.
It's like, if you don't buy a car from us, we both lose money.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, those are those two fine businesses. We really appreciate them both. So we're going to take a quick break. Hang with us, folks. A lot more to talk about right here on SNSN.
The right insurance at the right price. You buy better at Burns.
You buy better at Burns. You buy better.
The Burns Agency is a full-service organization with insurance products ranging from business owner policy needs to personal insurance like home, auto, and umbrella. Some companies can make that a one-stop shop. That's why we value partnering with insurance companies like Arbella Insurance. Like us, they offer a range of insurance coverage for our valued clients. Having your most valuable assets covered by a single insurance carrier, serviced by a local agent, is priceless. The Burns Agency proudly partners with Arbella to bring you insurance coverage at competitive pricing. The Burns Agency, proudly serving Eastern Connecticut since 1932.
Buy better.
Better at Burns.
Much better.
So much better at Burns. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better at Burns.
You buy better at Burns. You buy better.
Has arrived. They're your local auto super center. Put some excitement in your day and rent a Polaris Slingshot from Strain Family Motors, adjacent to the Green Onion Restaurant on River Road. Check out Strain Family Motors Super Center on Facebook as well as strainfamilymotors.com for everything sales, service, and excitement. River Road, Lisbon, Strain Family Motors, your local auto super center.
Dentist. In a word, yes, especially if that dentist is Dr. Katzoff and the staff at Griswold Dental Associates. They follow all the latest safety protocols while doing what they do best, taking care of you. From preventive to restorative, your dental care couldn't be in better hands. To schedule your appointment, call Griswold Dental Associates today, 860-376-2626. That's 860-376-2626.
City Savings Bank's commitment to helping local businesses fuel growth was recognized by the Small Business Administration and readers of the Commercial Record. We invite you to put our winning commercial lending team to work for your business. Because when local businesses succeed, we all win. To learn more, visit jcsbank.com. Jewett City Savings Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
All right, we're back. And we appreciate if you would check out our local sponsors, including the Jewett City Savings Bank and, of course, Griswold Dental. I absolutely love Griswold Dental. They're so nice and kind, and they make you feel comfortable. I go there personally, and I had a lot of framework done. And Dr. K is he's really cool, man. He's really, really cool. And I don't think I would have liked anybody else or let anybody else touch my mug like that. So let's go back. We have another comment here. Kathy says, I really don't think anyone is trying to take all the guns. Going back to our conversation of, there's the deep state taking our guns. They know better than to do that, but they definitely want to make it more difficult for law-abiding people.
Absolutely.
So what do you got there, Wayne? Talk about deep state. He's got a copy of the New York Post.
Got a copy of New York Post. I saw it in Dunkin' when I was getting the coffee this morning. And article in here about.
That's right. Coffee this morning brought to you by Dean's Corner Diner. Dean's Corner Diner. That's right. Well, I'm at Dunkin'.
You got all the cups around. Stop it, Mike. Come on, we've been drinking Dunkin' Donuts here.
But it's gonna change, man. This week.
Corporate America.
Yeah.
It's gonna change this
I'll
week.
start bringing this stuff in tumblers. Get
There you
us
go.
some Dean's Corner tumblers.
You'll be making it at home. He won't even tell you.
Reading through here about so there was an individual that did approach this young man, but he pointed a gun at him, so he backed off, and then he turned around and started shooting because he knew it had been seen. So luckily he was distracted enough, apparently, according to this article, that he was still good enough to get Trump's ear.
That was the cop that went up the ladder that saw him, and then he pointed a gun on him, and then the cop went down. But then the cop notified the FBI.
Yep. So, and it doesn't help that you got a lot of these type of quotes that are in the paper. I'm not making it up. So, from President Biden, what he says, it's time to put Trump in a bullseye.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah, And
It was
Hillary
like-
Clinton made a statement basically comparing Trump to Hitler. Hitler was duly elected. All of a sudden, somebody with those tendencies, dictatorial, authoritarian tendencies, would be like. So it's that kind of stuff, and you constantly see that on TV. Constantly see it on talk TV,
and
it just people continue to see this, and these young kids that are impressionable continue to see. I mean, we're older, and we've seen a lot of stuff in our lives, but these kids haven't lived it. They don't know what's true, what's false, what's BS, and
But what have these kids been through?
Yeah.
These kids have been through a ton.
Oh,
They've
yeah.
been through a pandemic.
Yeah.
They've been through a depression. The economy bites.
No,
Yeah.
economy's great.
Doing good.
Yeah,
No,
really?
economy's
You
doing
haven't
good.
reading the
Really?
right newspapers.
Oh, yeah.
The economy's
yeah.
great.
Yeah, Joe's got the best economy going.
Let me go get that $17 ham sandwich. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow. It's delicious.
So that's
Tell me
because
how
they
good it
decided
is.
to pay everybody $20 an hour minimum wage, or whatever it is now.
Better be fresh carved off the pig at that price, right?
They better put the pig on my plate.
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean,
that's one of the things Joe said last night. It's the best they've ever been.
Yeah.
I mean, he goes, "We're doing the right things."
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I'm literally sitting there going,
Cringing. Yeah.
I mean, it'll probably stop for a couple of weeks, and then it'll turn around and go right back again.
Yep. Back
Sure
to
will.
normal.
Sure, well,
Well, I was flipping between the Fox News, which leans right, and then CNN, MSNBC, just
Oh,
to
that's-
listen to what and that Fox was talking about what we're talking about all the hate reporting and stuff like that, covering Trump, stuff like that. That needs to stop. This rhetoric needs to stop. And then I turn on CNN, MSNBC, says, well, Trump said this, and Trump did call Biden the worst president. I said, yeah, but he didn't call him Hitler.
Right.
He didn't call him all this other nonsense.
what
end
about
of freedom
Biden?
and all
I
that
don't know
stuff.
if people remember this one when a chipper 77-year-old Joe Biden said during the very first election and debates, he's learned a lesson. I got to take him behind the woodshed,
Behind the
beat
gym.
him
Behind the gym.
behind the gym. Yeah, see?
Yeah.
So he was getting all frisky.
Yeah. He still had a little thought process going on.
I don't think that was on the teleprompter either. But
No.
But he said that. That was something that was
But you
said.
notice the difference between him at the debate where he didn't get everything up front, so he had to kind of wing it as it came, and he didn't speak very well. But then last night with his little thing that he came on, he was obviously reading a teleprompter because people wrote that speech for him, and he had no problem reading it and saying it. And
Yeah.
it was just,
he probably read it 5 or 6 times before.
well, yeah, but he didn't have to think about it. He didn't have to think about what he was going to say because it was already there.
Well, he had to say something because he's the president. We
Of
can't have
course.
that going on in our country.
How long did it take before he said the first time?
I don't disagree. But 3 times?
Yeah, why?
Why 3 times?
I don't know.
I mean, he came on the first night,
Yep.
yeah. The second time, yeah, okay.
Maybe it's because
But the
all his
third
press
time?
was
Come
going to
on.
Trump, all his press is going to Trump's way, and he needed to
He
get it.
needed to
Hey,
get
look,
some.
I'm still here.
He needed to get some of
You
that.
know?
That's right.
But it's just give me. We as American people are tired of being treated like stupid idiots.
Mhm.
We want the facts. We want truth. We want to know what the policies are and how they're going to make this country better. That's all we want,
Transparency.
right? We just want to be communicated.
How many
We
times
want to
do
know
you
what
hear
we
that?
know what the issues are. We just want to know how you're going to fix them.
Let me ask you this. Think about this, really. I mean, we all want transparency, right? Does transparency actually bring progress? Think about it. Think about it for a minute before you jump. I mean, does transparency actually bring progress, or does it divide progress?
I think it prevents rumors,
True.
Okay.
right? Because if
But
you don't communicate what's going on, and there's some things you're not going to communicate, no matter what, especially at the federal government level. There's a lot of things you're not going to know. But if there's something that's going on, everybody makes up their mind what's going on. Like this investigation, how long is it going to take? The longer it takes, people are going to say, "Oh well, the Democrats were behind it, or the
conspiracy
CIA
theories will
was
start.
behind it, or Russia was behind it,
Yep.
or whoever." Right? The longer it takes before they come up with what the real problem
Get the
was.
truth out there and get it out there quick.
Right?
But you didn't answer the question. You just said what it does.
Does transparency make it better? No.
Okay. That was my question.
It can if it's put out there quick enough.
See this. Look, Paul's like, because the question you guys are answering now all of a sudden you said one thing and you said something totally different.
Yeah.
Where most people would think that the two of you would probably agree, just because of what they've seen on the show and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So it's a totally different weird question, but it's like, whoa.
If you're transparent right from the beginning and can tell what you can tell, I think it prevents a lot of the conspiracies. You hope to think it does. People are still going to think what they think, but I think the people that
Paul, what do you think? Does complete transparency, does that bring progress or divide progress?
I'm not sure if it brings progress, but is the transparency the truth?
well,
Is
Of
it the
course.
truth?
For this argument, let's say that it is.
mhm.
Well,
100% truth for this argument alone.
Well, if it's the truth and you're telling people what's going on, I think a lot of people then would say, well, let's look at this town. There's a lot of times we don't have transparency here, and a lot of people are saying, why are they not telling us? What are they hiding? Well, if transparency, they're telling us, then we'll have a different perspective on what they're telling us. So
Maybe sometimes, just, hear me out. Maybe sometimes the transparency is not good because people will screw it up.
well, we all know that happens.
That's my point.
Yeah, we
So
do.
you get mad at local or national government because you're not getting full transparency, but really it's kind of like, people go, the state police ain't doing shit. They're not doing nothing. Well, guess what? Just when you think they're not working, they're working.
Yeah.
They're there.
Yeah, but you said for the sake of the conversation,
Well, the
complete,
questions.
truthful transparency. If that was the case,
You're going to have people that are going to dispute
well, there's
it.
still people that, of course,
Well,
of course,
Because
Always.
I
of
believe
course.
right now, with the amount of poor press and lies that have been put out, I don't think this nation is going to believe anything as the truth because of
Yeah, you're
what's
right.
been put on TV,
Yep.
in the newspapers, on social media. It's just where we're at, a state of mind.
Right.
Where 50 years ago, when Walter Cronkite got on the news, you believed every friggin' word Walter Cronkite said, right?
They altered.
did.
You can alter
They-
yeah.
videos. You
I
can
think
alter.
Cronkite, he was, I think he had the, people believed whatever he said, okay, as a newscaster, unfortunately. I mean, whether he did or not, but I think he was. Just like Dan Rather, a lot of people, Dan Rather's been around for a
Yeah.
long time too.
Yeah.
They caught him in something.
He was a field reporter in Vietnam.
Yeah, so,
Right,
so-
I think
right.
a lot of people had different perspective on the news media back then, but
Blumenthal was there.
now, Blumenthal right now, he should be a news correspondent because he's on television more than half the TV actors.
So what-
He's
and
an expert on everything.
he's not good at that either.
He's an expert on everything.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Well,
The
he's
news changed when CNN went on the air. Because
been-
CNN,
CNN.
They got
because
like
it was
10
cable. They could pretty much say and
Yeah.
do what they wanted to
They
do.
got like, 10 people watching them now?
Right,
Well,
but,
you
but
know-
I'm saying that Fox.
Well, you know what that was always
followed and
referred
then-
to as the Communist News Network, right?
or the Clinton News Network.
Yeah,
you know.
either way. yeah.
But still, the point is that's when things started to change because it wasn't. So they went to more of an entertainment type of
Mm-hmm.
platform, right?
Yeah.
So what happens then? All the others kind of spur after that.
When did that happen? When did the news change?
Reagan?
Nope.
After Reagan, actually, Clinton.
Clinton.
Somebody passed a law. I think it was during Obama's administration that they didn't have to prove their sources. Didn't have to prove their
You never
sources.
did. It's still freedom of speech.
But
It's protection. It's freedom of the
but you
press.
still have to be if you're gonna
It's always been. It's
libel somebody
constitutional.
or come up with garbage about somebody, you had to prove
You got it, yeah.
you had good sources or whatever like that. You
Yeah.
don't have to do that anymore. You can
Right.
just put whatever you want.
Right. I could sit here and say Paul Ash is a hermaphrodite.
And I am.
A what?
He really enjoys
You
it.
see what I mean? He does never have to leave the house.
You tell Paul to go screw himself, it takes on a different meaning, right?
But the point is that I don't know if it's true or false,
Right.
right? And I don't care.
Yeah.
But the thing is look what happened. We all kind of went sideways for a second,
Mm.
and we were entertained for 10 seconds.
That's okay. My
That's
lawyer will
it.
be in touch.
Just make sure you spell my name right, that's all.
I hope your lawyer is not in touch.
Mm.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Hmm.
so that's we don't know about the news. We have.
So transparency can work
Uh,
either way, really. I mean, but the thing
Exactly.
is, I don't think
It doesn't change anything. I don't think it changes anything. Transparency, oh God, people are going to hate me for saying this, and that's okay. I don't think that 100% transparency promotes truthful government.
It's not the answer.
It's not the answer.
No.
If you guys get pissed off, or I get pissed off, that because downtown Grizzle, they're not saying everything about a water tank, or they're not saying, well, you know what? You elected them. You voted for them. Let them do their job. Obviously, you trusted them to drop your vote for their name.
Yeah.
I don't believe in one thing that Tina Falk's character has changed because she became first selectman. It's a different job than what she had in the senior center. And now she's doing the job, and if she doesn't say everything, I'm okay with that. And I'll tell you why. and I'm thankful when she comes here and tells us what she does, because I'm looking at her body of works and she's been there. And look what's happening. Things are moving. She may not be telling us everything, but you know what? Doesn't matter what you say. It's what you see, right? What are we seeing? So that's and I just throwing Tina out there really just for, look at Kevin Cunningham, who will be here tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah.
Talking about grants and how do you get them? So
A grant writer, right, Paul?
yeah. Well, what did I say at the Board of Education or the Board of Finance? When I said, give public health and safety, give them their $1,000, put it back, and get a grant writer.
Well, we
So-
put the $5,000 back for the grant writer.
We'll work on
That's not gonna happen with $5,000.
No.
So
You might get one grant, a small one,
I think it's popular
out of that money.
for people to sit here and go, I want transparency, rah, rah, and start a little bit of a movement.
Well,
But if you think about it, really for a second, is
So-
it really?
So what I don't understand about this whole transparency thing is why I can understand personnel issues. You don't discuss that with the public. That's a
Yep.
personnel thing. But things like construction projects or whatnot, what's the big secret to not telling people what's going on? When they hold these executive sessions in the middle of a meeting and it's discussing the water tank or whatever, why isn't, and it's not a big deal, it doesn't make or break anybody's day, but why are they keeping that under wraps? Why aren't they just letting people know, hey, we had a meeting today and it discussed the water tank and it was about the property that's going on or the money that they want for it or whatever the case may be. Why aren't they letting people know? There's no government disaster there. It's not like you're talking about, Jimmy who got wrapped up in a thing at work today and he's going to get fired this afternoon because of it. That's totally different. The public doesn't need to know about that. But, common everyday things that, hey, listen, the taxpayers are funding it. Why shouldn't they know?
So I don't know what the legal repercussions are, but
I don't either.
you
But
can
it
always
just
ask,
doesn't make
send
sense.
an email. I asked that question.
I saw Lori's on here. Maybe Lori knows a little bit more.
She
Why can't they talk about things that they're not talking about?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
But she did give us an update in the last Board of Selectmen meeting.
Yeah.
We asked her. She gave us an update what was going on. The water tower, they're still working through that as far as the property with the individual.
Well, wouldn't that
And I'm
be
thinking
enough?
if it's something about money and negotiation stuff like that, she probably can't put anything out because that could impact the negotiation
Well,
process.
contract
Possible.
negotiations. I get it. Contract negotiations. And that's part of it with that, I'm sure.
So Dawn says, DM Foley, the news changed when they went from journalism to commentary/opinion. With journalism, a reporter was required to provide at least 3 verifiable sources.
Yep.
Nowadays, it's
Stop it.
anonymous sources.
Oh, yeah. You see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kathy says, when it comes to a grant writer, maybe we can find a grant to fund a grant writer. And Mary Beth says, stop picking on Paul.
That's right. Thank you, Mary Beth. My new friend.
I haven't picked on you. Is that schlub over there?
All right, so you have a lot of so you have a lot of people, right? Like who are sports fans, right? They are,
Oh yeah.
they're very much into their sports team. Like I love my Boston Red Sox, have since 1974 when my mother and father took me to a game for the very first time, and Carlton Fisk won the game with a home run.
There you go.
So that was I was hooked ever since. Now the Red Sox are 10 games over 500. Everybody thought they were going to suck. They kind of still do in some ways. But now it's like, are they buyers or sellers when it comes to the trade deadline? You know, are they going to try to bring people in, or are they going to just kind of flood and get rid and get ready for next year? So the general manager, Craig Breslow, said, you know, kind of tipped his hat a little bit and said that they were going to be buyers, meaning bring people in.
Mhm.
Now they know who they're going to go after.
Okay.
But they're not saying anything.
Yeah.
Well, why would they? Why wouldn't they?
You don't want to get
They don't
bidding
want-
wars.
Because
They don't want other teams to go after the same thing.
exactly.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have a problem with them not telling me some of the negotiation stuff that's going on with the water tower. They told us they were working on it. That's all.
That
I
was
need
just an
to know.
example. You know, there's
I know
always,
you did, but
We
there's-
just went from the Red
but
Sox
there
to
has
the water
been-
tower.
No. It was just really an
Yeah,
analogy.
transparency.
That's all.
So transparency, you know. So yeah, so there's a reason for that, right?
But I've been in meetings where I wanted to say something, and you know the instant I was told not to say anything. Okay, that's the point that pisses me off is we should be telling people, and I've always said this: you need to, if we got something and we can tell them, let's tell the people what's going on, especially when it came to the, you know, the sewer line going down 164. It was like holding it to their breast. What's going on? Well, now that we have new administration in here, it's starting to come out of where we are. You know,
That's 'cause
it
the
never
old
came out
administration
before.
wasn't
Why
doing
are we
anything.
keeping it a big ass secret?
The
I
old
don't know.
administration, it wasn't doing anything. It wasn't even moving forward. So.
Yeah, and that used to tick me off because and again, if you don't tell people what's going on, then they figure you're hiding something.
Exactly.
And that was always why I said you need to tell people.
Right.
And
But then again, you have to kind of sit back and
What you can and can't tell. I get that.
Right.
I get that.
reflect. Again, you voted for them.
I know.
Trust them.
I mean, a lot of people bitch.
Wait till the point where you can't trust them.
Oh,
Then that's a different thing.
but you know, a lot of people bitched about economic development, what was going on. Nobody telling us. There were a lot of companies that came in here to talk to the former selectmen, you know, wanting to do something here, but they can't tell you because they're trying to negotiate what was going on. I can't tell you everything.
Right.
There are things that they have to hold to their breast until it becomes a real thing. So and a lot of people get ticked off because of that. Well, unfortunately, they're not trying to hide something. It's just they can't say anything. You know.
Right. But when somebody says I can't say anything,
Yeah.
do you believe that?
Go ahead.
Do you believe them that they can't say anything, or do you feel that they are just holding it back and don't want to tell you?
I think the last administration, that statement's probably pretty accurate.
Yeah. Okay. And I agree with you.
I think what we have now, if they're telling you that, you gotta believe that there's a reason. There's a good reason they're not going to tell you.
And then I think it all circles back to who you trust and who you don't trust.
Yeah.
I really do.
And you have to trust them until, like you said, you can't because you found out differently.
Yeah, and I don't think it'll get to that level locally that we're not going to trust them. State's a little different. They're probably a little bit higher on that pole, and then when you get to the feds,
Forget
it's
it.
way up
Forget
there.
it.
So it's going to take a long, long time for people to trust what's being said at that high level.
So let me,
It's not going to turn around overnight.
here's a real doozy of a question. You notice I ask the questions, I get off like a whatever, and you guys throw your souls on the floor.
I'm ready with the chicken. Shoot.
When Donald Trump was president during those 4 years, I think we can agree that he was a loudmouth. He still
Yes,
is.
he was.
Still is.
He talks out his ass when it comes to just trying to describe stuff.
Yep.
Do you, all you guys, do you feel that you were lied to at all by President Trump? Regardless of his personal antics in Mar-a-Lago and all this stuff, do you feel that you were lied to by President Donald J. Trump when he was in office? Did you sit back and go, shit, man, what a bunch of lies that is?
No, I didn't think so. But
You may not like the way he says it,
well,
but
you got to remember the guy.
Get past that, yeah.
But
You
he's
gotta
not. He's not a politician.
Well, and that's not a bad thing.
That's right. He's not a politician, so he doesn't
Yeah.
know how to play the game.
Listen, the government, whether it's town to federal, is a business. It's money in, money out.
Right.
I mean, you got to run it like a business. I mean,
That's what
who's the right guy? Donald Trump.
That's what
I'm
he's
not
trying
talking
to
about
do.
right. But I'm not talking about his personality, right? So if anybody,
No, put that aside.
yeah, if anybody else is, if you're there, which I see a bunch of people there, are curious about that question, let me ask you this: have there been any times during Joe Biden's administration that you have listened to what he has said and have kind of kicked back and go, what a shit ton of lies that is?
Well, you're right, because I think this whole China thing with his kid and not being involved,
Charisma,
you kind of say, well,
The laptop,
is it? Not is it? Those kinds of questions came up. You know?
Afghanistan.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah.
True.
I mean, and I'm not a fan either way because I'm not registered in any
Opening
party,
the borders.
You know, so
But the question is so is that a yes or a no?
Yes.
Okay. So what are we complaining about? We already know, or what? And I think if you ask that same question, dude, pretty much everybody, relatively the same answer percentage wise. You know what I mean?
If they're going to be truthful.
Like, let's call it a Quinnipiac poll, right? It's not going to be 100% or anything like that. But you're going to find that people say, yeah, I don't know, Biden's been all that truthful. And has Trump, oh, yeah, he's a dick, but he's being honest.
They don't like us.
Well, if
We
if
like
not, they're
that.
going to put him on trial anyway. They're going to find out and put him on trial, see if he's
Right.
honest or not.
Right.
How many
Right.
trials has this guy been through?
do we really think all?
And he's still going to be the Republican nominee.
Do we think all politicians are truthful?
No.
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 Republican and Democrat.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
I think when people are elected, they're legislators. They go in with the thing of doing right for the people. Once they get in there, all right, they become part of the bad apple in the tank, and now they become
And
politicians.
the only way you can make it is give and take. And so you're giving some of your soul away so you can be somewhat successful in what you want to get done. Right?
They're
So
all in there.
compromise.
They're all in there for this.
Yep.
How can you go in there?
Not Trump. He didn't take a paycheck.
No, but I'm saying, look at these politicians. Half of them that went in there, how much money did they have in their bank?
Not much.
Nothing. Now they're coming out with millions and millions of dollars.
Insider
How the
trading.
hell
Look
do you
at
do that?
AOC. AOC couldn't pay her damn rent. Now look at her.
Now
right?
look at her.
Yep.
Insider
hell does she
trading.
do
Trading.
that?
She can. They can all do insider trading where
Sure.
none
you
of
want me
us
to
can.
get that passed? Just put a little something right here,
Yeah, a
and
little bit of fundraisers.
And that's just one
I'll
example.
rally the troops, and
Yeah.
we'll get it in for you.
So that's-
Oh yeah. It's crazy.
You think a lot of it is misdirection?
They become really good at being able to lie with a straight face
Yep.
and a smile.
Yeah.
Well, bottom line is that it's not this. Whatever happened this past weekend, which was heinous, is not going to change anything going forward.
Nope.
There's one part of this subject that we didn't talk about, and a lot of things that I heard, again, theory, obviously. Donald J. Trump was saved by God. It was God that saved Donald J. Trump.
A lot of
It was
people-
definitely something.
a lot of people believe that.
I'm just saying there are, and now all of a sudden is
It says right here.
By luck or by
It says
God.
by luck or by God, I'm still here.
okay. Now it almost becomes biblical.
Yeah.
Because we await the third Antichrist who comes as a peacemaker. So maybe he did. His life got sucked out of him, and Beelzebub's, I'm here.
Well, but the one thing we're not talking about is if
We're
you're
not talking about a lot of stuff.
if you're standing up there and somebody takes a whack at you and you're lucky to turn your head and you get shot, tell me that that's not going to affect you.
Oh,
I mean, come on, down deep inside.
He's not going to hold his rallies from his mother's basement. I can tell you that.
No, he won't do that. But it's got to have
over the
some.
grave.
That's got to have some effect on it.
It's going to be interesting to see what his speech is going to be now, because they say he's changing his speech.
Yeah.
You know, at the RNC. So we'll see what happens. But both sides have to calm down their rhetoric and give us what we need so we can see who we need to vote. Who's going to have the answers for the real issues? Who's going to fix the security of our nation, the border issue, the economy, our military's getting weaker, how we're going to fix that? You know, our relations with foreign countries, NATO. You know, I know they were saying, well, Trump was blowing up NATO. Well, he was just asking to put a little bit more piece of the pie, because America was
Pay their fair share.
America was paying for. He was looking out for America's interests as far
Yep.
as
How much
saving
we were
money.
paying. That's right.
Right. You know, and there were some leaders in the country saying after the NATO summit said he was tough, but he wasn't unfair. He was looking out for America. Right.
Yeah.
So, and even was it Bill Barr, the Attorney General that was working with Trump, says they're putting out all the stuff about Trump. We had our disagreements and all that stuff, but he's not the bad person people are painting him out to be. So
Listen,
they need to stop this stuff.
My next door neighbor worked her way up. She was raised in Atlantic City area of New Jersey. She worked through the casinos there. She got into one of Trump's casinos. She got personally close and tight with Trump himself. Went to New York and worked for him there. Now she is the vice president at one of the casinos here. She still has Trump's phone number in her phone. She tried to call Ivanka the other day when Donald got shot. And of course, the phone was busy. She never got through. But she still has those connections, and she will tell you exactly who Donald Trump is because she worked for that guy for so many years. And, you know, people won't believe it, but I believe her. I mean, you know, she planned Donald Jr.'s 10th birthday party. You know, I mean, she's that close with Donald Trump. And she'll tell you a totally different side of Donald Trump than you'll ever see on the news or the TV or anything. Yes, he's outspoken, but he's a decent guy.
And now he's going to be almost, I don't want to say, canonized because of this.
What does
Because it was
Nostradamus
divine intervention.
What does Nostradamus have to say about that?
Well, this
Nostradamus.
Maybe we should pick a card for him on Thursday.
There you
How's
go.
that?
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go.
if he,
Now we're getting wacky.
If he gets elected, it'll be only the second time. The last time this happened was in 1890.
Was it Roosevelt?
No, it was McKinley. I believe.
McKinley?
Yeah, I think it was McKinley. But the last time a president who went back in after he lost one term was back in 1890.
Oh, isn't that when back when John Trump was writing a book for Barron Trump, and now they're time travelers and
You talk about me? Pulling the card? I mean, it's a different dimension, you know.
yeah, it could be.
Luckily, Trump stepped in that different dimension and the bullet missed him. So
Yeah,
there
you
go.
know, in one dimension he went this way, the other dimension he went this way. Splat. So anyway, gentlemen, thank you very much. I think we put a lot of stuff out there that was
So
good conversation.
when they fix his ear, will it look like a Doberman?
I don't know, but we are coming out with the new Donald Trump earring that and simply has a fist pointing in the air. Order that. DM me. And so, you know, and actually we got the new Donald Trump shirt.
Saw that.
Oh, yeah. That's
Spitting on
unbelievable.
the shooter.
Spin on that thing.
Yep.
If you don't talk to her, I won't talk to you.
There was already a picture of her spitting on the shooter while he laid there dead.
Unbelievable.
Anyway, all right. Tomorrow we got Kevin Cunningham talking about Grant. If you know anybody by the name of Grant, then come on in and no. If you know anybody in a local government or something like that that may be interested, Kevin Cunningham has done very, very well in procuring and securing grants for the town of Plainfield. Other towns, you know, will I'm sure will benefit from what he has to say. So, and who knows? Maybe there's a Canova grant for donuts.
You never know.
For donuts.
That would be a great day.
If
Anyway,
you do, let me know. He might start up again. Who knows with donuts?
Kathy says, I'm sure. This is one last comment. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. I'm assuming Trump, for the family of the man who died at the rally. I'm sure he will take good care of them.
Oh, I have no
He
doubt.
started a GoFundMe page. He helped start a GoFundMe page for those, not only him, but the others that got injured. You know, I think
Yeah.
from what I saw on the news, it's at $3.6 million
Good.
already.
And you know what? Yeah. Anyway. All right. Rich, thank you. Wayne, thank you. Paul,
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
And
Whatever.
Whatever.
I'm used to it.